Welcome back, children, to the second part of the chapter Distributional Maps. I hope you have gone through the chapter and done the map activity exercises. Now, in this part, we are going to learn about the isoplet map and geographical field visit. The third method mentioned is the isoplet method. Now, in this case, the distribution is shown with the help of lines showing equal values. Earlier, you have seen contour maps and isobar maps. Now, in such cases where the distribution of variable is continuous, we use the isoplet method. For example, altitude, temperature, rainfall. Now, in this case, we need absolutely accurate data, and we consider the fact that the difference between the altitudes or rainfall changes at a uniform rate. Now, since these are shown using lines joining places having equal values, the sub-administrative units are not taken into consideration. That is, the statistical data belongs to the respective places. Such data is known as point-related data. Now, if you see the map on page number 4, figure 1.3, it shows the average annual rainfall of Amravati district, wherein you can notice that on the lines, the values have been written. The rainfall, that is the average rainfall, say 800 millimeters, 900 millimeters, etc., has been written on the map at their respective locations. Now, in such cases, if the data for more places is available, then mapping of distribution can be done more accurately. Now, what are the steps taken for the isoplet method? Now, we first find out the highest and the lowest value of variable. That is, if you see map 1.3, there the highest value is 1300 and the lowest value is 800. We decide to make intervals. So here you have about 6 intervals ranging from 800 to 1300. And each interval has a difference of 100 millimeters. That is, the lowest interval class is 800, then the next is 900, then 1000, then 1100, and so on, reaching to 1300. So whichever places have, say, 800 millimeter of rainfall, they are joined by a line, a continuous line, as you can see from the map. Places showing 900 millimeter of rainfall have a uniform line going through them. Locations of same value are joined by a line. Let us now look at figure 1.3, which is an isoplet map showing the average annual rainfall in Amravati district. The lines have been drawn across the map at regular intervals. If you see the index, the lowest value of the variable is 800 millimeters and the highest value is 1300 millimeters. The line showing 800 millimeters of rainfall joins all places having rainfall equal to 800 millimeters. Line joining 900 millimeters joins all places having rainfall 900 millimeters, and so on. You will notice that no sub-administrative units have been marked. That is, there are no divisions or boundaries of regions shown. The difference of rainfall between any two lines changes at a uniform rate, that is, it is 100 millimeters. What do we understand when we see these lines on a map? What kind of analysis we can make out or do? When we find out that the lines are closer to each other, the change in variable is steep. That is, the change is happening very, very quickly. But if the lines are away from each other, then the change is very gentle. And when we look at the map in totality, we come to know of the natural trend of the distribution of the variable. That is, if you see the average annual rainfall map of Amravati district, you can find out where it rains very, very heavily and where it rains very less. Geographical field visit. Field visit is an important study method in geography. You have done this topic last year also. Now, if I want to understand the different elements of a place, that is the type of soil, the topography, the kind of crops grown, the houses found in that area, I need to visit that place, observe, and get more information about that place. So, geographical concepts and elements can be directly experienced through field visits. Now, what do you mean by they are extremely useful in understanding the correlation between humans and environment? Now, the ability of human beings to adjust to the environment, to the climate over there, to the kind of crops grown over there, to the kind of houses that they live in, can be understood through geographical field visit. Now, students, when you have to go somewhere or you have to organize an event, you just don't get up and go, or you just don't decide, okay, we'll have this event tomorrow. You need to make preparations. Similarly, for a field visit, also you need to make preparations. Now, what preparations do you need to do? First, you need to decide the place and purpose of the visit. Where are we going and what is the purpose of our visit? What are the elements to be observed? If I am going to a factory, I would like to see the production process, the packaging process, or the transport process. In the beginning of the chapter, we learned that the main aim of a map is to find the location of a place. So, isn't it necessary to study the location map and route map of the place to be visited? Once we decide the location and the route that we are going to take, we need to know how will we travel, what is the distance to be covered, which will be the best route, and what will be the duration of field visit. Also, students need to prepare a questionnaire with the help of the teacher, which will list down the questions which will cover all aspects of the elements that we are going to observe. Geographical field visit is a first-hand experience of the theoretical concepts learnt in class. Students can explore the actual elements and make observations themselves. Now, the field visit is organized for study of various elements like physical landforms, river banks, dams, coastal areas, tourism sites, offices or museums related to geographical elements, villages, forest areas, etc. Now, the selection of these elements should be done after studying the local conditions, and necessary permission letters have to be obtained. That means that we should select what we have to study depending on what is the purpose of our visit. Are these places accessible? Are they safe to go? Is it too large an area to be explored? And certain places like factories, dams, museums, etc., need permission from the local authorities, and then only can we visit these places. For a field visit, you should carry a notebook, specimen questionnaire, pen, pencil, scale, tape, compass, a bag for collecting samples like soil samples, rock samples, maps. A camera should be carried so that photographs can be taken. Whenever you go for a picnic, there are certain set of instructions given to you to be followed, both by your teachers as well as your parents. Now, in this case also, we need to take certain precautions during a field visit. First, we must ensure safety of ourselves and others. Second, obey the instructions given by the teacher. Third, do not go to unknown remote places alone, as you are unfamiliar with the territory, you are visiting the place first time, and hence it is very important that we don't go alone and we ensure that we are safe. This means that we have to obey the instructions given by the teacher. Now, your purpose of the field visit is to try and understand the region, the area, and who are the best people who can tell you or give you information. It is the local people. So during the field visit, try to understand the local circumstances by conversing with the local people. A very important precaution. Do not harm the environment in any way. Also, always keep a first aid box with you for emergency circumstances. After you have visited a place, a field report should be written on the basis of information obtained after the field visit. Now, what should be included in the report? The following issues should be used to make a report: introduction, location map and route map, physiography, climate, population, environmental problems and measures, land utilization, conclusion. Now, when you start to write a report, the first thing that you would write is about the place that you visited, where was it located, how did you travel. Now, suppose you went to a village, then you will write about the village location, how was the village in terms of the houses, the land, occupation of the people over there, how was the climate, is the village heavily populated, are there any problems which are faced by the village people? It could be water scarcity, it could be flooding. What are the measures that have been taken to tackle these problems? How has the land been utilized? Is it completely agricultural, or some part of land is barren, nothing can be grown on it, etc. Now, your field visit was a personal experience to understand firsthand how or what, say, a village looks like. So, in the conclusion, you will mention some remarks and your feedback. A report gets enhanced if you add photographs. So, add photographs wherever necessary. I hope you have understood the lesson. In this part, we have discussed about the isopleth method and geographical field visit. Please go through the questions given in the map and write the answers.